Welcome to the Reschexpert blog. Today on the Reschexpert blog, we want to talk to you about ways that inflation will affect your Rescheck. There are 5 ways. Reschecks are affected by many things outside of our control. In recent years, price inflation on almost everything has become more common. In today's episode of the Reschexpert blog, we'll discuss with you the 5 ways that your Rescheck energy report might be affected by inflation. These are the 5 ways inflation affects your Rescheck. They include, but are not limited to, price of construction materials, cost of living, rising price of oil, increasing interest rates on construction loans, and the actual cost of a Rescheck itself. Please read along as we discuss the following items in another Rescheck blog post by www.rescheck.info. 5 ways inflation affects your Rescheck. Today on the Reschecks blog, we want to talk about the ways the Rescheck reporting is affected by inflation. When prices rise on goods that people use every day, one of the first places that it's seen is in the construction of new homes, alterations, and addition. The cost increases in all other goods are eventually reflected in price of construction, and that seems to happen sooner than later. Today on the Reschecks blog, I want to discuss how inflation over the past several years has affected Rescheck reporting. Many do-it-yourself Rescheck creators, contractors, Rescheck services, architects, and engineers read this blog, and they are no doubt affected as well. So this blog should reflect exactly what they are seeing or will see on a daily basis in today's construction market. When the price of construction materials rise, sometimes one of the first things that you see is a need to find an alternative material to construct a home with. Rescheck Web and Rescheck Desktop are unique softwares because they allow all components of a home's insulation envelope to be viewed as a system. This system is then compared to the climate zone where the home is being built, and a pass or fail score is generated based on how well the new home's insulation will perform in that area. One thing that we have seen quite often is homeowners, contractors, architects, engineers, and subcontractors asking for different ways to insulate a home to save money on construction. Here's an example. Homeowner submits a new home construction blueprint for Rescheck. The architect has specified that they would like to use R49 roof and R21 wall insulation. The windows have a U value of 0.25. In today's construction market, this would rank as one of the top insulation packages that we see on Reschecks on a daily basis. The homeowner then asks if an R38 roof and an R value R19 wall will pass. We would rerun the calculation and let them know the score, and let the players in the construction project make the decision as to what the final insulation values are that they are used, as long as they'll pass. It should be noted that you would save some material and possibly insulation costs up front by using R38 insulation instead of R49 and R19 insulation instead of R21. However, the long-term cost would benefit you by using R49 and R21 insulation combination, because every month when you open your energy bill to heat and cool your home, you might save $15 to $25 using the higher amounts of insulation. This doesn't seem like much, but it adds up to $300 per year, $3,000 per decade, and $6,000 over 20 years. This is known as payback period for insulation, so carefully evaluate any cost savings that are presented by cutting the amount of insulation and weigh them against your other luxury items you might be able to cut, like the live waterfall from your living room, to save on your budget instead of shrinking the amount of insulation protection your home has against your climate zone. Food and meals are also an important staple that construction crews and everyone involved in your construction project need to stay nourished and have energy to complete the task on your construction project. As the price of food rises, so does the cost of per diem payments for construction crews, drinks to fill the coolers on hot summer days, basic lunches at the gas station nearest the job site. Basic nutrition is a need that must be met for anyone on a daily basis. As the price of meals rise, this will eventually be added to the cost of construction. Anything added to the cost of construction will eventually come into contact with the Rescheck, because these are the same people inspecting your home, installing the windows, and stapling your bed insulation that is specified by your Rescheck. Next item we see revolves around oil markets. Diesel trucks, plastic, foam insulation, generators, and many other construction items use oil-based products in their production. The cost of these items has doubled and tripled in the past years. It's impossible to build a home for the same cost per square foot as it was just 18 months ago. As the price of oil goes up from international conflict, shortages, natural disasters, and other unforeseen events, Rescheck reports are affected. Not to mention the on-site inspections for Rescheck reporting that building officials make each week or month to make sure that progress is taking place under the specified ICC Rescheck codes. These will eventually be added to the price of building permits, because it costs more for even your building inspector to drive to job sites. Financing new construction is no easy task. A construction loan is extremely difficult because a majority of financing products require two separate closings. You close on the loan one time before you break ground, then you close on a loan a second time after you receive your certificate of occupancy. Each closing has a cost, and when you have two separate closing costs up front, the cost of a construction loan may already be steeper than other loans that you are used to. Now add in the increased cost of interest rates. Interest rates have increased dramatically in an effort to tamper down inflation. While it may eventually make inflation decrease, the benefits have not been seen just yet. What this means is that you are already paying more for the materials to build your home. You're also paying more interest to finance the construction of your home. This means that interest and material costs of your home are both increasing simultaneously and affecting the Rescheck energy reports on almost all projects. The next item we see is inflation in Rescheck pricing. We charge $79 for any size Rescheck. We've slowly seen other Rescheck services switch to a more sneaky square footage based Rescheck pricing model, and we're sure they're doing this because of inflation. An example of inflation affected Rescheck pricing would be somebody advertising a low cost for a Rescheck. Then once you dive into the details of your home, you realize that a normal size 2,500 square foot home costs almost triple the $79 that Rescheck Info charges on every Rescheck. We have seen prices rise significantly for single family homes in regard to the pricing of actual Rescheck reports for almost all Rescheck providers using this square footage based bait and switch Rescheck pricing tactic. We still charge $79 for a Rescheck, and we can have it prepared in 4 to 6 hours. To get one started and dodge the inflation of this portion of your construction project, you can email your PDF plans, job site address, and square footage to service@rescheck.info, and we will get you taken care of. If you're ready to get that started, simply scroll up to the upper side of your screen. You're going to click this sandwich icon and then click Buy Now. That will take you to the Rescheck checkout page. Then scroll down and you're going to add the $79 Rescheck to your cart, and you are ready to go. Thanks again for listening to the Reschexpert blog.